2. What's good with y'all? It's your boy Heavenly Man Solo back at it again with another video. Hey, I'm back in the office again. You've seen the title, From Purpose to Promise. That's what the word of the Lord is today. But before I get into that, all praise to the Lord Jesus Christ, in whom there's no variation or change. All good things come from the Father above, in whom He showers His love down on us so that we can have life here and give life to others. So without a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, nothing I say today really matters, truly matters, because everything that's good in this life, the whole reason we have our being is in Him. So I pray that you have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. We 45 seconds into my intro and we done. So we doing good on time. Let's go. From purpose to promise. Genesis 50:20. What ye meant unto evil, God meant unto good. So all of the things that are going on, let's start with purpose. What ye meant unto evil, a lot of times in your preparation, people will do things to you that meant harm to you. They meant harm to you, but God meant it unto good. I can think about all the times, whether it was in football or in the locker room, or it was in life, in my past, where things happened to me in my childhood. Things happened to me, going up through high school and in college. And I didn't understand why these things were happening to me, because I felt like, I'm showing love. I got a big heart, But what it was preparation. Because of my big heart, I often I sought to please people and I sought to help people out. But understanding on this walk, as you become a true believer in Jesus Christ, that on this walk, you will have to cut people off. That's what that preparation was teaching me. It also was teaching me how to show love in circumstances where people reviled and hated me. But I working that principle then, and I didn't know it. I was working principle then, and I didn't know it. Just like the Karate Kid. The Karate Kid didn't understand why pick up the shirt, put the shirt on the hanger, pick up the shirt, put the shirt on the hook, pick up the shirt, put the shirt on the hook, mop the floor. But he was ultimately getting trained and sharpened for the real technique. God is actually testing you while you don't even know you're being tested. You don't even think this is a test. And a lot of times when you're getting prepared, the devil will have you thinking the reason you're going through is because it's something you did wrong. But that's not the case. A lot of times it's just preparation. God is just preparing you. But what the devil will do is he'll try to turn preparation into condemnation. But we know what it says in Romans 8:1. You got to get that in your heart as a believer. There's no condemnation in Christ Jesus. The man who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is not fit for the kingdom of God. That's Luke 9:62. So understand that unless the Lord is calling you to revisit your testimony, don't look back. Don't go back to that. You may have to look back and remember some of the lessons you learned in the preparation season, but don't go back there spiritually. And don't allow anybody to take you there spiritually. Understand that while you're right before you get to your blessing, right before you get to your blessed place, this is a sign that you're about to get blessed. Is people will begin to try to pull you back into a state of fear, pull you back into a state of confusion. It's very subtle. You got to have your discernment up in this season, in this time, in this hour, this last day hour. You got to understand people will begin to remind you, oh, you remember how last year you failed? Oh, you remember how whenever you were in this situation, or remember when this happened? They try to get you to relive a certain moment. And sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes they get you to relive a good worldly moment. Hey, you remember when you caught up with old girl? Hey, you remember when you caught up with old dude? Hey, you remember when this song, You cannot go back to that. You cannot go back. You can't allow yourself to be pulled in and drawn back. Because how do you allow the blood to truly work on your behalf? Because it says it's a redeeming blood. I want to say that's in Ephesians. It's a redeeming blood. So how do you let a redeeming blood, how do you let that power continue to work in your life? Don't talk about what you used to do. I'm not talking about, I don't even remember the old man. I don't know what you're talking about. Get the new phone number. I got a new phone number changed my life. I changed my phone number twice in 4 years. Best decision I ever made. Best decision I could ever make, because it allowed me to reset. Because some of the old connections I had with that phone number, the only way those connections could be restarted were based on that phone number. That's just a little nugget for somebody. I don't know who that's for. But let me say this. Let's continue. Understand, in the preparation moment, in the times where you're right about to get blessed, you're still being prepared. You're still being prepared and tested. And as you pass these tests, as you go through these individual trials, as you feel like you get home, you got a trial at the house, you got a trial with your wife, trial with your kids, you go to, on the way to work, somebody cuts you, flip you off. Then you get to work, somebody's trying you at work. Then you leave work, somebody's trying you. This is all preparation. The enemy is trying to get you to sin or to transgress in an area, so he has some legal right in your life to come in your life and accuse you before the Father so that he can do some work in your life and get you back. Don't allow him. Don't open the door to the enemy. You're about to win. You're about to pass through. You're about to come on the other side. You're about to enter the promised land. How do I know? What biblical principle can we relate this to? Think about the children of Israel when they were in the wilderness. Had they just fixed their mind and fixed their hearts to not speak against the Lord and not moan and groan and complain, they would have entered the promised land. But what did they do? They wandered around in the wilderness. Some of you are in the wilderness purely because your mindset won't change about the wilderness. See, there's a lot of people. I met a lot of tough people. You know what I'm saying? They from the hood, or they cut from that certain cloth where, you know not to try them. I rock with people like that. You know what I'm saying? They stand on who they are, everything. But truly a strong person is somebody that can go through something that is not their fault, or maybe is their fault. They can go through a situation that's undesirable and have a positive outlook and be able to handle it internally. Because a lot of those strong people I mentioned before that were strong in a worldly sense, as soon as they go through some type of trial, they got to do something to escape. They use escapism. And escapism can be they can hide in this phone. They can hide on social media. They can escape on social media, portray a life on social media that they're not really living. They can go and get high. They can go and drink. They can go and watch porn. They can go and masturbate. They can fulfill the flesh in a flesh. They can go and eat. Ooh, let's talk about that. That's something. Let me not get all the way into that. But eating is a way of escape. Understand, you your temple, your bodily temple. When people look at you, they can tell if you're disciplined or not. They can tell if you're disciplined or not. You got to get your temple right. I'm not saying you got to be out there just like Jack Bauer, or like, John Cena, or, Terry Crews. But get your temple right, man. That's just a plug. Get your temple right. Moving on. So as we continue on this walk, understand that in the preparation moment, that those lessons that you learn in the preparation time will prepare you for when you get to the blessing. Because the worst thing you could do is receive a blessing from the Lord and then piss it away. What a waste. What did you go through all this for? And also, God is a good teacher. God is the best teacher. God is a patient teacher. God will test. God will, and I don't want to, put God in the box, but God will do things, and he will not do things based on your readiness. Let's not put God in the box. Let me just continue to talk how I talk. So understand that as you're coming up, right? God knows what you can and can't handle. So you think you can handle a new car. You think you can go out there and, get a new house, and you're believing God for a house. But you can't even do right by the house that you're in. You can't even open your house to the people you're supposed to and close the door to your house to the people you're supposed to. You can't even vacuum your carpet in your apartment. Your room dirty right now, but you want a house and you want to get blessed. If I go open your car, it look like a raccoon living there. You got trash everywhere. You don't take it to the car wash. You don't put air in your tires. You don't put gas in it when you need gas. You don't get the oil change, but you asking God for a new car. You got to do right by what you have right now and be grateful. It's one thing to do right by something. It's another thing to be grateful for it. Because you can do right by someone and not be grateful for them. You can do right by your wife and not be grateful for your wife, but you feel like obligated because you're in the church. You feel obligated because, this is just what you're supposed to do, but you're not really truly grateful for her. Well, she doesn't give me a reason to be grateful. Well, she's alive. She's alive, and God bless you. He who finds a wife finds a good thing, and it goes both ways. Women as well. I know I got women that watch my channel and young women of God and strong women of God that watch my channel. So it goes both ways. You got a boyfriend or a husband that you so called in love with, but you don't treat him right internally. You can do a lot of things externally, but your internal is ultimately what God sees. I hit on that in my last video. I've hit on that in several other videos. So understand that your perspective on and your gratefulness, your contentment is also what God is looking for. In your preparation season, can you be content with what you have? Can you trust God when your bank account low? Can you trust God when there's not a lot of food in the cabinet? Maybe he's calling you to fast. Obviously, in the last days, I'm not taking the mark. Are you taking the mark? If you're saying you're not going to take the mark, then you're going to have to learn to fast, because we're not going to be able to buy and sell like everybody else. Now, it doesn't mean that God won't sustain his sons and daughters in the last days, because he will. But you're going to have to learn to live a life of fasting. And I'm cool with that. That's a choice I've come to grips with. And I just understand that I'm cool with that. I'm going to live a life of fasting because I know this is preparation for that life of fasting that I'm going to have to live. I'll fast now. I'm cool with fasting now. Okay, moving on. But our contentment is key. Our contentment is key in this season, and not getting wrapped up in all the worldly pleasures. Not allowing the rat race. Let me move this chair. Not allowing the rat race in the shiny things to pull our affection from the Lord. Not allowing people to pull our affection from the Lord. Not allowing our dreams to get in the way of the Lord. Because even a dream that God put in your heart, or you think God put in your heart, can pull you away from loving him. I feel like I'm called to get on here and make videos and make content and eventually probably be some type of pastor, or I don't know. I don't want to use the term pastor, but I may be called to make disciples of all nations on a big scale, right? But if I put this phone and this dream, and this image of who I think I'm supposed to be above God, I'll miss him. And he'll wait until I come back to that. I'll never fulfill the blessed call of God on my life unless he's front and center. Because ultimately, like I say a lot of times at the beginning of my videos, he is our perfect and great reward. We get more of him. This is a great segue. 12 minutes and 30 seconds. Perfect. As we go through our trials, we're rewarded with more of God. I think that's where people miss out. I think that's where people and Christians nowadays, we don't understand. We get blessed for going through. And sometimes you go through because of choices you made, but God will still bless you for going through and overcoming. Hold on, let me break this down for you. Okay. Let's say God didn't tell me to open the door to lust in my life, right? And I went out there and I slept with a whole lot of women and I did stuff I wasn't supposed to do, right? And I was in the world. But now that I've come to Christ, now that I've begun to walk in God's grace and favor, and now that I'm free, praise Jesus, I'm free, I now have a level of power in this specific area to help other people get out. I got rewarded. There's a level of revelation I have now when I read Romans 7 and I read about Paul. They say we don't know what Paul is talking about in Romans 7, but based on the way I live, I can kind of tell there's a spirit here behind the word. The word unlocks in a new way for me based on what I've overcome in this world. Think about the revelation. Think about the Psalms David wrote after he overcame the condemnation and the shame of sleeping with Bathsheba. Think about the Psalms he wrote when he was in the cave hiding from Saul. As he overcame, the gifting began to get squeezed out of him. And see, here's the key. Boom, we have 14 minutes. We're finna finish up. I'm finna close on this. You can't take an orange. Okay. You can take a lemon and paint it orange. And if you squeeze it, though, it's going to squeeze out lemon juice. So you can't fake the funk. What's on the inside of you will come out. My pops always used to say, what you put in the well, you will pull out at some point. If you put Lil Uzi in the well, when it's time to muster up some faith, you're going to pull faith out for Lil Uzi. When it's time if you put in Love Island, when you put in Love Island in your well and Severance and anime and all these different things, this music, and you saturate your life with gossip in the shade room, when it's time to muster up some true faith, when all of a sudden, heart pounding, something go down. You get a bad report at the doctor. You're going to have to pull some faith out, but what's in the well is what's going to come out of you. That's why when people piss you off and you cuss, that's what's inside you. It's just some quick pressure and it came out of you. You didn't have time to push it back down and fight it. But this is what we're coming down to in the last days. Understand that we're coming down to suddenly. So when that thing comes on you suddenly, when that thing is starting to pop off suddenly, when they start coming out with stuff and technology and you start to see some demonic stuff begin to happen and bombs start to get dropped over here in America and people talking about going to war. Now it's not going to be time to go run and try to scan this Bible into your brain. It's already got to be in you. You're in a preparation season. There's a small preparation season that you're in that's leading to a promise. And then there's a big preparation season that you're in that's leading to a greater promise of eternity, which is your entire life. I hope I'm making sense. If I am, leave a like, share, comment, subscribe. Remember, it's your boy, Heavenly Man Solo, doing my best to bring you a word from the Lord and just encourage you in the faith. Feel free to leave a comment. Every comment I read and I respond to, and it really blesses me when people comment and share what they learn and how I'm blessing their life or what I can do to change or how I can influence the community better. I'm here for all comments and critiques because that's just when the word of the Lord goes forth. It's your job as a believer to square me up against the word and what I'm saying against the word and bring that to my attention. With that being said, it's your boy, Heavenly Man Solo. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Peace.